Say, why haven't we discussed our future job yet?
Horror, professor, or a job in the French ministry. I think we need to discuss our abilities and powers.
Mostly because we have to defend ourselves.
That's why we have to become more powerful. You and me have 2 years left.
Well, I'm not saying that my powers are more impressive than yours, but
You're right, you can.
you know, little sis, there isn't time that someone has to shut his mouth for good, to make not things any worse.
Very wise, Toadhead. Maybe you shouldn't whine so much and find a way to reward yourself.
Alright, stop that. At this rate, we will never find a good hiding spot.
Well, I didn't started it. You know, I'm the one with the dragon heartstring wand here. You twins have only phoenix feather.
I hear what you're saying, but just is because it's the very special widely used core doesn't mean you're the most special.
That you're saying, Sut, maybe would find myself if you two weren't around. I will exactly tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go dress myself in you two, so that you don't go ever against me.
There he goes.
Home sweet home again. Back off, it's my chair.
You still think you're so special. This is more mature.
This is just my chair.
Since when?
Since now.
Well, listen to this.
Victorine, can you keep your luminescence down, please? They're so bright, it can nearly blind me.
Well, I wouldn't dream of that. Their food is gone and he's desperately hungry.
Well, do it fast. You know, I wish I could go to the city once, and by then, the fact that we live in a farmhouse has a mysterious backstory.
Oh yeah, right. That reminds me of great-great-grandpa Gerard. He's the whole reason why we live here.
He worked at the French Ministry of Magic and surprisingly moved here. He was always looking for semi-humans to treat them like equals, and suddenly disappeared into the woods, never to be seen again.
And we never knew his wife. It's hard to say if he began to love land life, because we never heard stories about that.
You know, it's weird. Great-great-grandpa Gerard lived in Paris once, and for an unknown reason he moved to the country and built this house. I mean, Paris was where he lived and worked, and since then every year of him has lived here too. And now we live here with our mother and grandparents.
Maybe it went hard for him when semi-humans were classified as beasts.
Hey, beer people, Centaurians aren't really humans, and they are not so communicable as non-wizards stories. If they are not human or beast, so what are they?
Very persuasive, Anton. I'm only saying something is bothering me. Great-great-grandpa just disappeared long ago, and no one knew exactly what happened to him. And I think it had something to do with the property he had for semi-humans. Is there anything that happened to our great-great-grandfather that has something to do with that?
Well, we never found any clues of that, and no one knew anything, even our own family.
Well, we can better start eating. Come on. Mom cooked beef with snails.
Allora. Wow, it's dusty. When's the last time it's cleaned here? It takes a decade to clean this. Oh well, too bad there's magic. I've never noticed this before. What's this here? Guys! 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 Guys, I think you must be very interested in this.
What is it?
It better be very interesting.
This is a story about great-great-grandpa Gerard, written by great-grandpa George. It says on the front page, "Dear founder, whoever lives in this house right now, this will reveal how Gerard Salgado disappeared into the woods. But only open it when it glows red." And thereby, I think dreadful things are coming towards us right now.
What do you mean?
Listen to this. Dear reader, if you have discovered this, it means that terrible things are going to happen. It's like this. Before I was born, my father had a big experience of treating semi-humans like equals, and in his years in prospecting his opportunity, he met a Veela, whom he married later and so got me. As if, when Veelas were classified as beasts, mother and father didn't grow apart from it, but were insulted by people who began to hate semi-humans. When father became depressed, he moved to the country to build a house, so he could quit his job to try to leave the past behind him. But after father thought his experience was wrong, he tried to kill mother by bringing her into the woods and burn her in 1874, but apparently father was killed by a cockatrice that lives somewhere near the woods. Since then, mother never returned home and left me unattended. It might be that she is still around in the woods, near this house. The reason why this piece of parchment glowed red means that whoever is now in this house is ready to face the Veela to stop her from doing terrible things. The only hope is that family has to find a way to calm her down. But be warned for the cockatrice. There's a map where the Veela and the cockatrice are right now. George Soldago.
If this was written by our great-grandfather, he writes about his father, so that Veela is our great-great-grandmother?
So wait, our great-great-grandma is a Veela? How could I never suspect that?
Well, we think it's very odd to us too.
Well wait, it's like 70 years ago. How do we know that she's still alive?
Might be.
Well, at least one of us knows this. A Veela can be 202 years old. That's a formidable hazard. She might even be immortal.
I knew that. So wait, great-great-grandpa Gerard was disappeared into the woods because he was killed by a cockatrice?
And the fact that we never heard from it is that he betrayed his wife in a little unthinkable way.
I think what it means is that now it's the right time to solve this problem. And that we have to do it because we're in the house right now. Guys, we have to go there.
Come again.
You heard it. We have to go there to stop that rampage. And only family can do it.
But we don't know what she's going to do. And we don't know if this was really written by great-grandpa George. It can even be a trick.
What kind of trick? By the way, it was really emotional written.
But there's also a cockatrice out there.
Yeah, so many things that fall from the sky. A cockatrice and our Veela great-great-grandmother lives in the forest near our house where we lived all of our lives.
If I'm not mistaken, it might be that that is the reason why our ancestors lived here, to wait for this to happen one day.
Yeah, I knew it all along, of course, but I think it might be too dangerous.
We don't even know how to face a cockatrice. Great-grandpa George might have done that, otherwise he didn't write this. But we can't ask him for answers, he passed away 10 years ago.
Well, we can't wait, and Mom is working, and Grandpa and Grandma are on a trip. So I think we have no choice but to do this. Look, there's a map where we can find her and the territory of the cockatrice, and it shows how they are moving. And we all have to go to make sure one can calm her down if the other does something wrong.
Do you think this is more a mission to change the image to our great-great-grandmother? To let her forget about our great-great-grandpa that attempt to murder her?
I think this is very persuasive.
It's just food and a bag for the tent. And I'm carrying a map, you know. I'll carry something on the head today.
But we don't know how long this journey is going to take.
Well, we'll see about that.
Well, we can still return while we can.
Well, if I didn't know any better, I would say you're afraid, Anton.
Well, of course I can handle Veela and Nocturne. What is a cockatrice were you talking about? One glimpse and we're dead.
Well, I think it's a great chance to make something of yourself, man. If you can defeat that cockatrice, we're gonna treat you like a person you always wanted to be.
Well, what are we waiting for?
Maybe we can find some herbs on our way, you know.
Well, we have to focus. We're not anywhere. This way is where you take the tent. Hope you work relaxed.
I'm exhausted. Can we stop for a minute?
We're just walking for half an hour.
Yeah, that's very long.
Hush up. It's only 15 minutes to the territory of the country.
Well, it will be better. The best last 50 minutes of my life.
I think we're here. Well, we better set up camp and wait until we hear something to take immediate action.
Finally!
Guys? NirvanaVEVO. Guys, this isn't funny. Phew. Guys?
Jeez, I'm freaking out. We can't even look at it. This is...
Stop complaining and think of something. We need to scare that beast away. We must use our ears.
Do you hear it?
I think... Wait! Maybe I can sense his presence. NirvanaVEVO. It's in front of us. Stay calm and...
What do you mean, stay calm? I'm freaking out like I never did before. What are we going to do?
Shh, be quiet. You're gonna make it attack us. Think of something to do instead. Conjure a weasel.
How does that...
Just do it! Nice of you, Anton. What are we going to do? It's not going away by itself. Wait, I think I know something. Metal jinx! It's gone. Well, we scared it off, but it might return. Victorine, the cockroach is gone. Where are you?
Oh, she better not tricking us.
Victorine! Victorine, are you okay?
What happened? Do you think that she's stared at the cockroach's eyes?
No, she's still alive, but how did this happen?
I don't know. Can a cockroach do more things?
No, I don't think so. She can't be petrified either. I think she just fainted. We must carry her back to the tent. If she's cured next day, then sure we can...
Me? I think just you and Victorine, because I'm going home.
Anton, what are you doing? We haven't even completed the mission and now she's fainted too.
Exactly, I thought this mission was bad from the start. Now look at this.
Haven't you heard the story? Great-grandpa George said bad things are going to happen if we don't do something. And everyone who was in the house yesterday has to do this.
Even if it was our great-grandpa, he still didn't write what our great-great-grandma is going to do. And we were almost killed.
The only thing you did was crying in fear, while I thought of something that saved us. We have to think of our abilities.
Well, I didn't think we stood a chance.
You know, I thought you said you were such a special person, and that a special person like you could take a mission like this.
I know what I'm saying. I never said that I can face a cockroach. That's why it's a bad idea.
If we can just work together...
No!
You know what your problem is, Ethan. You never let anyone help you. And that's why you can't help yourself and you always think you're right at everything, but you're not.
My first 2 years at school were much nicer than the other years.
Yeah? How?
When you two weren't around.
Alright, Anton, you can leave, but I have one thing to say.
Yeah, what? What's that?
It's her. Greetings, we come in peace. You don't know who we are, but we are the great-great-grandchildren of Gerard Sarcado. Are you his long-lost wife? Are you the Veela? Listen, what are you planning to do? We understand why you're so upset. But we can help you.
All those years I have lived in great depressions since Gerard betrayed me. I understand it might be a long time for you, but for me it feels like yesterday. I first have to say, violence is not the answer, but motivity is heredity. Tell me, are you here to kill me, just like him? Or are you here to figure out what I was going to do? And be very careful how you answer. Or you'll face the fate of elimination.
Well, it was a long time ago. But you see, Jared became just confused, but he must have live peacefully with you. And
But did he really had to move here? He never asked me what I would have done. He only listened to himself.
well, he just became scared and
He dropped me in this forest like a pet and eventually made his choice. I count myself lucky, because apparently this is the only safe place for me. But now I have to defend myself.
What are we going to do? She's surely going to kill us.
Homenum revelio. Leave, Anton. I'm gonna figure this out.
But Gabriel...
Just go. Try to get Victorine safe and leave.
Gabriel, I think that...
Anton, leave. I'm only gonna say this once. Leave. Those noises. It's a cockatrice again.
What?
Cover your eyes. What the? Anton, leave.
Gabriel, I just want to say...
Oh, don't bother. You don't have to help if you don't want to. I'm surrounded by it. I can't tell where he stands. I can do nothing. It looks like we're all done for.
Gabriel, are there more ways to kill a cockatrice?
Anton?
Just say something!
There is a weasel, there's a mirror. Ah, I know. Try to make a rooster noise.
Got that!
What are you doing? Is it that?
Yeah.
How did you make those noises? Well, thanks for sharing that. Anton, I thought you wanted to leave.
I've learned something. Jared didn't almost lose anything about that classification, not by himself. From the beginning he was insulted by those people, He became depressed, but he never let anyone help him. So he became confused, and that's how he became that way.
Anton, I don't know what to say.
No, you don't.
Yes, that's what I wanted to hear. Of course I was overhearing you when you were having a fight when she was fainted. And I wanted to see how it came out. After his life came to an end, I knew there was some way he could have learned it, and now I see he has. And now I think I have to leave it behind me. And that's how it all became better.
When did you...
Just now.
So, are you coming with us?
I have to go on. It was nice to meet you, and I hope you'll continue a good life. Goodbye!
So the bad things that were going to happen was that she going to kill us. So predictable. Oh well, we almost had off that crooked. But if we haven't done this, we would have been dead anyway.
Well, she thought we could have been bad people. I understand. Now we've learned something.
Well, you talked us into this. Otherwise we have never done this.
Victory, did you really thank me for that, Mom?
Not really. I woke up when the Veela started attacking you. And then the cockatrice came and I played that with my eyes closed.
Couldn't you have helped us?
Okay, I woke up when the Veela was talking to you. And when you were running away, I spoke to her. And I explained that I understood what she wanted to hear. But the Veela wanted to hear if Anton understood what Gabriel told him.
Well, you should have seen me and Gabriel.
Well, it was very noble of you, Anton.
Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Of course, you didn't have to shriek in fear so much. And even one of you has fainted.
That's how we know him.
And thank you for sharing your candy with us.
Wait, he had candy?
Sounds producing sweets.
Well, nice. Thank you. There were only those gross sandwiches and... Oh man, I knew I shouldn't have left the Lunaris alone.
Well, I think we shouldn't have worried about anything anymore. We just have to see what's all coming next and we just solve it.
You two are going to help me, right?
We'll see.
So now that we took care of that, do you think we can move somewhere else?
Well, I think that this house, of course, has become quite honorable to us.
Yeah, maybe we should even build statues of the three of us. Right after we tell our little adventure, of course.
Yeah, sure. Can my statue be bigger than yours?
Do you think Mom or Grandpa or Grandpa knew of great-great-grandpa Gerard's backstory?
Maybe, or maybe not. There must have been a reason why they weren't involved.
Then let's go tell Mom.